Hello, my name is Jo, and I'm here to do a September wrap-up video. So, hello there. If you are new here, my name is Joanna. I refer to myself here as Jo, right on the BookTube community, and I am a coffee-loving book addict. And to tell you what, I had an amazing September when it comes to reading. I don't know if it had something to do with my readathon. I don't know if it, something like that, which I still have to post that readathon. But it's just the process of editing it. There's just a lot of footage for it, and it's just, yeah. So we're getting there with it. I promise it will be up. If it actually doesn't get up, then, well, it's just there's a lot of process to do in the editing, and I just want to keep videos coming for you guys, so, yeah. So, September. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe September, you guys. Like, I read 6 books in the month of September. Like, that is incredible for me because I am one of those type of people. I read very slowly. You guys already know that. But for me to even read 4 books in a month is awesome. To me, to read 6 books in a month, like mind blowing. I cannot believe I read 6 books in September. So, I feel like I'm going to have a much longer video with all these 6 books, so let's go ahead and jump right in. It's by Neal Shusterman in my recent reads video, so I'm not going to go fully in depth with it, but this was one of my reads that I read in the month of September. If you guys are not familiar with the story, it follows 2 kids who died in a car accident and they get stuck in this world, like a limbo type world called Everlost, and they're trying to get back, into the real world and things like that. So yeah, that's what that's about. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars because I kind of more or less feel like it kind of fizzled out in the end. There is another book, and it's another series. It's like a whole entire series. I kind of want to get my hands on the second one just to kind of see where the story goes. I can't remember. I think Everwild is the second book, but I could be wrong on that. But it was actually a really good read, and I was actually pretty impressed with it. This was my first exposure that I had to Neal Shusterman, so I kind of want to try to definitely get my hands on more of it. So, Everlost by Neal Shusterman, definitely a good read for the month of September. So the next book that I read in the month of September, which was actually part of my readathon, was The Devil's Arithmetic by Jane Yolen. If you guys are not familiar with this story, it follows a girl who doesn't really want to do her Passover celebration. They are Jewish, and she just doesn't want to have anything part to do with the whole Passover situation or anything like that. But then she ends up getting sucked into the world of the Holocaust, and she ends up, just going through everything as if she was actually part of the Holocaust, and it was actually really good. Like, I read this a long time ago, and then I recently reread it again as an adult, and I feel like I got more out of it as an adult. I literally devoured this in like 2 hours, because it's a really short book. It's like only like 170 pages. But the point is I think I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. No, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I'm not really actually sure why I gave it that rating, but maybe I'll reread it and see why I gave it that rating. I'm not exactly sure. But I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a great story, and I think it's a great middle grade story to, just present somebody who's in the school. Like, this is a great way for young adults and even young kids, like middle grade, to learn about the Holocaust. Like, I absolutely loved this, and I would recommend this to anybody. So, the next book I want to talk about, I recently mentioned it in my last video, which was the keyword tag, or was it the alphabet soup tag? I can't remember which tag it was, but I recently mentioned it, and that is Carrie by Stephen King. So many mixed feelings about this book. I loved the overall story of this. I thought it was great. I thought it was just, she has telekinesis powers and everything like that. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And the reason I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because I loved the story. but her mother, ooh, her mother pissed me right off. Like, she didn't even, like, talk to Carrie about what women go through. Like, she didn't even mention, like, you know, the whole menstrual cycle thing. And here, poor Carrie's at friggin' school. She started her first period, and she had no idea what was going on. Like, and her mom was just like, oh, you know, you did, talking about, like, the devil, like, you know, I don't know. Like, this book made me so mad because of her mother. Like, that, I feel like, you know, that's not all I really got out of this book, guys, but that's what really stuck out to me. Like, her mom was a bitch. I could not stand it. I could not stand her mother. But, you know, can't win them all. So, I want to say I give this 4 out of 5 stars only because of her mom. And I feel like that's a really bad reason to give it 4 out of 5 stars. But it was because of her mother. And, yeah. But, overall, very, very good story. And the next book that I read in the month of September is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Oh my gosh, so many mixed feelings about this book. So, I feel like a lot of people have talked about this, so I'm not really going to go in depth. I'm just basically talking about my feelings about it. And, oh my gosh, like, I kind of really want to watch the movie to kind of see how it gets portrayed out. But, oh my gosh, like, so many mixed feelings about it. Like, I feel like Amy, okay? Amy was such a mastermind. Like, she blew my mind. I feel like Nick was just kind of like oblivious to it all. He knew what Amy was capable of, but then he literally just kind of like put everything on the back burner and didn't really worry about it. And it's just the whole, I don't want to give any spoilers away because you guys haven't read this, but just the whole thing, like, Amy is a friggin' genius. Like, there's obviously, like, you know, the amazing Amy, her parents and things, right? You know, like the children's books, but Amy herself was a friggin' genius. Like, everything that she did and everything that she just portrayed and everything that she did, I never even would have thought of it. Like, just some of the things that she even wrote in her diary, like, holy shit, excuse my expression, like, I could not believe just some of the things that girl thought. Like, and the whole time I was reading this, I was just baffled, and I just kept wanting to read it. I kept wanting to know more. I wanted to know how it ended. I wanted to know everything. Like, I believe I probably devoured this in like 3 days, which is really good for me. This was part of my readathon, so I ended up finishing like the night after my readathon. It was like 2 a.m. like Monday morning when I finished this. So, yeah, it was very, very clever. Like, this book blew my mind, and I don't know really how much to say about it. I feel like I'm going to stick to my original rating and go 5 out of 5 stars because it was awesome. And I'm not really a big thriller fan. Thrillers have never really been my thing, but definitely 5 out of 5 stars. I'm sticking with that rating. It was just incredible. I finally finished a reread. That's what this next book is. Inkheart by Conliea Funke. I listened to this on audio, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This is one of my favorite childhood reads. If you guys are not familiar with the Inkheart story, you follow a girl named Maggie and her father. And her father has this special ability when he reads out loud, the world comes to life. And we later on discover that she also has that same power. They go to Capricorn's village, which Capricorn is part of a story that he read out loud called Inkheart. And they have to try to vanquish him and, you know, everything. And everything else goes down. We also meet Eleanor, who is her mom's sister. And, you know, her mother is missing, and there's just so much going on in this book. And there are 2 more books to it, and I started this over the summer, and I finally finished it, and I still have 5 out of 5 stars for this, and it was just... Inkheart is one of my favorite books of all time. Like, I still have yet to find a book that replaces this in my heart. A Curse So Dark and Lonely came close, but this is my #1 read that I will always recommend to somebody. It is a middle grade book, so it is really easy to read, but there's a lot going on in this book, and I feel like if I want to fully talk about this book, this would be one video in itself, and I will be having a video about this eventually with Inkheart, Inkspell, and Ink Death, but I'm in the process of rereading them, so that's why this made this list. So the next book that I'm going to be reading is Inkheart. No, Inkspell. The next book I'm going to be reading is Inkspell. So, yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. Always and forever will be my favorite book of all time. For now. And the last book that I read in the month of September, which I actually finished 2 days before September ended, which I'm pretty happy for. This was a reread for me, and that is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. I forgot, actually, when I first read this, I was blown away. Like, I listened to it on audio. The second time I read it, I actually physically read it, and I completely forgot how much I loved this stinking book. Like, I'm not even sure where to begin, because you follow... God, I can't remember my character's names. So you follow Grace, who basically she falls in love with this wonderful man, and she gets married to him. Then all of a sudden, everything changes. This perfect man is not who he actually said he was. He completely did a 180, and the whole entire time he's trying to get to her sister, who is mentally challenged, and it's hard to talk about this book and not give everything away. The best thing to do is to read the synopsis, because it's kind of like, not everybody says who they say they are, and it's not really, it's kind of like, you know, don't judge a book by its cover type of deal. So when I reread this, I remembered how much I hate Jack. Like, there is, you know, a severe dislike for somebody, like, you know, severe dislike here, and then you have your hate, which I can't even go, like, any high, like all the way up to the freaking ceiling. Like, there's, like, that hate. Like, I hate Jack. Like, in the beginning, he's just a very lovable character, and, you know, when she starts talking about him, like, in the past, he's a very, very lovable character. He's this absolute doll, absolute sweetheart. But then, you know, you talk about him in the present, and it's just like, he's a completely different character. And, you know, it's just the way that Grace talks about him, the way that he treats her, and the way she talks about him treating her, it's just... No, he always gets under my skin. And the second time I read this, he just got completely under my skin, and whoa, I could not stand him to save my life. I wanted to reach inside this book and just strangle him myself. So if you guys haven't read Behind Closed Doors, I will praise about this book forever to all the end of time. Like, it is an amazing thriller. That's why I've also recommended this to my sister-in-law in my book recommendations video, to my family. If you guys haven't seen that video, I will leave that right down below. But, or I'll probably try to post it up here too. So, yeah, check out that video wherever I may post it. But, oh, 5 out of 5 stars. Just a mind-blowing thriller. Not a thriller fan. You guys know this. And this one blew my mind. I'm just getting into thrillers slowly, and this was the first book I ever read that got me into thrillers. And second reread, I'm still in love with it. And I cannot wait to actually dive back in to the other 2 books by B.A. Paris. So freaking excited. So if you have made it this far, thank you. I'm so glad you guys stuck around to hear me talk about my random September books. Again, this was a really good reading month for me. I'm just really happy with the books that I got through this past month. And if you guys want to see more of this random, bubbly, quirky, weird personality, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and that way so you guys don't miss any of my videos. If you guys want, if there's anything that you guys want to see, leave a comment down below. I would love to, see what you guys are looking for. And yeah, so without further ado, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.